Major League Soccer.
Yeah. It's back, baby.
It is back, baby.
Can I start by saying I like Messi's new haircut?
Interesting.
Yeah.
My wife was watching the game with me in Miami against NYC FC, and the first thing she said, she's like, that haircut doesn't work on him.
I think it's the first haircut that actually does work on him. He got a weird shaped head. By the way, so do I.
Okay.
But above the ears is wider than the top of his head. So when he gets a fade, it looks a little strange.
I disagree.
This kind of covers that.
This makes him look like a paper boy. You know what I mean? It's like a little too adorable.
Paper boy. He kind of gives me
he got a middle part.
Not a middle part. It's like a off. It's like a 1 o'clock part. It's not a noon part. You know what I mean? And it kind of lays nice. You know, he's giving me he's giving me.
This was the game.
This is a little too long. It looks in this one.
The one we're looking at the one from the CONCACAF Champions Cup game, and this was much more noticeable. His hair was basically frozen, because it was so cold. But I don't hate it. I'm not saying I hate it. My wife can't stand it. She was furious at this haircut. Yeah. No,
I like it. I think fades don't look good on him. You know, he ain't got the right shaped head for it.
It's interesting because I think
not his fault.
I think
it's the HGH they fed him as a child.
For men, fades are like the easy glow up. You know what I mean? I don't think
it's simple.
It's
especially
difficult. Any man if you add a fade to a man without a fade, I think that's an instant improvement. It's like a cheat code.
I don't disagree, but I think you got to have the right shape head. Like I can't get a straight across. It has to have a little taper in the back because my head is shaped so odd. You know what I mean?
All right, I guess.
I'm trying to put you on game,
you're
bro.
You're the expert.
I'm trying to put you on game. Trust me when I tell you.
Weird shaped head, United over here.
Yo, bro.
My man.
Oh, Big Noggin FC? Oh, yeah.
So, look, a lot of incredible matches. Obviously, we had San Diego start their campaign in Major League Soccer.
Looking pretty good.
But
not great.
Let's start with a couple games, and just a heads up for this 2025 MLS season. For anybody listening, watching, just be mindful of the fact that there's too many MLS teams. There's no humanly way possible unless this show is every week 3 hours.
Right. Some of you are going to be like, you didn't talk about San Jose versus Vancouver, and no, we didn't. we can't do all of it.
This is the comedy show, so this is what I want you to do. If there is something hilarious that happened in a match that we did not get a chance to watch, this is where you say, hey, I'm going to be a part of the community. I'm going to let the hooligans know, hey, they should talk about this because this so-and-so happened in the game.
It's free to tag us and stuff.
They don't charge you anymore. Not for long, though.
Yeah. That's true.
So the internet's getting very crazy.
Right.
But feel free to let us know.
Tag us, DM us.
Exactly. So,
let us know, and we will talk about it if it hits the funny bone. Right.
So let's obviously start with Inter Miami against New York City FC. A game ended 2-2. A game that went into took 11 minutes or something to get a result.
It was a long one, and I turned it off. I was on my way to do a show, so I was watching on my phone, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna walk in the venue, so I'm gonna shut this off. There's only a few minutes left.
Yeah.
It's not like Miami's gonna equalize, and that's exactly what happened. But it was an odd match to begin with. Fafa Pico goes down.
Yeah.
What looks like a hamstring injury, which is a real shame.
Yeah,
friend of the show.
Fafa was just on the show a few weeks ago. We were hanging out with him in Miami,
right?
For the MLS Media Day. So a real bummer to see that 7 minutes into the game, he pulls up with a hamstring injury. So just sucks to see. So we're just obviously Fafa. We're hoping just for a quick recovery.
Quick recovery.
He was on the sideline watching the game right after.
Yeah.
So it seems like it was like precautionary of like he felt something. He's like let me not push through.
Right. Take it easy, nice and easy, because he's going to be a big piece for the team.
And against our team, thank you.
We did ask him to take it easy against New York City FC.
we don't wish ill will on anybody.
No,
but
Fafa was like, I'm not sure. His hamstring was like, bro, I got you guys, bro.
Hamstring is definitely a Cooligans fan.
Yeah, hamstring's like, bro, let me see them roast jokes, bro.
So,
and then it gets even weirder. They Aviles, their center back, scores.
Yes.
And then he gets a red card. He draws a red card by pulling down a player in the box.
Alonso Martinez.
Alonso Martinez.
Yeah.
So going down to 10 men at home, you think Miami, look, New York City FC have a new coach and Pascal Jensen, or Janssen, who I had the chance of interviewing him.
You hosted the
like the founding members forum, whatever they call it. I shouldn't know. I was the host. I said it on mic like 3 or 4 times. But it's really cool. It's all for like the season ticket holders. I guess I think they apply to be a part of it. And then we're season ticket holders. We could do this as well.
I got the email.
I didn't read it. But I did host it. I did get a chance to interview. And he seems like someone who's like, I want to play attractive, exciting football. He also made it a point to talk about set pieces were important for him. He said that he was aware that the team didn't really score much on set pieces last year. Great question from someone in the crowd. I actually said, I was like, well, I kind of remember, James Sands scoring on a big one against Miami, and he clapped back. He goes, "There's a reason you remember that one." I was like, "All right, good point." It's a good point. Yeah, I was like, "All right, my guy, I like that." So this was it was fun for me to see that set pieces have become an important part of it. It does seem like they want to push forward and play attractive football if you're a New York City FC fan.
Yeah,
but Miami is one of those teams where they got some big names on there, man. You can't really give them a chance until that final whistle.
Yeah, I mean, well, just a couple things to know about the lineups. Obviously, I was actually really happy for Fafa Pico starting over Robert Taylor. I think it just says a lot about the trust that he's earned with Javier Mascherano.
Just the dynamic he brings to the team, right? He's able to break those back line.
Robert Taylor was awesome last year and scored important goals and had great chemistry with the rest of the team and Messi in particular. But the NYCFC lineup I thought was interesting. I love so Agustin Ojeda. I think there is a clear, especially with now we know Santi Rodriguez is officially gone. His transfer is announced an hour before kickoff of this game.
A lot of thank you Santi posts right before the game.
We're dealing with a lot right now. Yeah. Why announce it right now?
I mean, granted, a week ago he gave an interview from the airport in Brazil, so I think we had an inkling that this was done.
Yeah. But Ojeda, I thought a lot more importance in the game, and clearly a bigger responsibility, and you saw that. And he was playing out on the left. I thought he was also very, very pacey and handled himself really, really well. Obviously not having Thiago Martins, not having the other who else is there was somebody else just blanking on, but not having Santi, not having there's like a lot of adjustment happening.
In particular, look who started up top. Keaton Parks and Justin Hack.
What we're looking at is not exactly how they lined up.
Also, it was a very fluid formation, which I love. It felt very like
in the second half they went 3 at the back, as well to because they were up a man and it didn't really look like it after the red card. So, but Alonso Martinez, I think
they have Busquets. That's 2 players.
Yeah, pretty much, right? It's so frustrating. I'm like, this man moves at 1.5 miles an hour, and you can't get the ball from him. He always makes the right decision.
I don't know the reference. You probably will, but it feels like every cartoon at some point had this, like the old guy who knows karate, and you're punching 1,000,000 miles a minute. He's holding onto a can and he's blocking them all without moving much. That's Busquets, bro. He plays the game like it's like he rewound the game and he was like, I already know what you're gonna do, so I'm gonna do so. It's so frustrating. It's so funny. Somebody recently posted a video. They're like, what did Cruz do wrong? It was a match Real Madrid versus Barcelona back in the day. It's like, what did Cruz do wrong? And everyone's like, he tried to press Busquets. Like all he did was take 2 steps forward, and all of a sudden Barca springs, and it's like Busquets is like, are you that dumb, dude? Like the ball's stuck to my foot, bro.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it says a lot about what the kind of player he is, and it really just shows like we don't have players like this in Major League Soccer. Like it's just like wow. Is again not gonna wow you in any real way, but if you are a person who understands the game, you understand how pivotal and important he is. So and that's why I think not having Santi Rodriguez. He's not NYCFC's Busquets per se, but he holds on to the ball and he gives a little bit of relief to the other players of like, all right, you don't have to move the ball, I'll move the ball. So now somebody else has to step up, and I thought Ojeda did that to some degree. And Maxi does what Maxi does.
Right.
I think so. After the red card, and props to Alonso Martinez for drawing it. Aviles is another. He scores and then gets a red card.
I mean, the guy made a bunch of rash decisions last year.
Yes,
and he is like back to it.
I saw on MLS wrap up he had gotten 15 yellow cards last season.
Crazy.
Which for a center back,
That's a lot. Young guy
it's
too.
It's a young guy. I mean, he's like 19 or 20 years old. He's pretty young. But with the way Inter Miami's roster is built, this is what is going to happen. The older guys that know how to move the ball forward are up top. And they like, all right, who's left? Mm-hmm. Put a toddler back there because he'll go under the salary cap.
There's gonna be a street cone with a pink jersey on it for sure at some point.
Did you see somebody posted on Twitter that the new Inter Miami jersey
the Victoria's Secret
like
bag?
A Victoria's Secret bag?
I can't unsee it,
which is so funny. But it's Aviles, Alonso Martinez gets away from Aviles in a great turn in between two players, and then Aviles is just like, bro,
just hugs him from behind.
He kind of tugs at him a little bit, but it's just like, bro, wait one more second to make that challenge because that's a penalty instead of a red.
Yeah,
and he made it right outside the box, and boom, and he gets sent off. Everybody's upset. I think the Inter Miami players, and this is credit to the referee because again, Inter Miami can influence a game heavily. And this is
it doesn't matter who you are. If Messi comes up to you and says, "Yo, you messed up on that one," it doesn't matter. Even if you're working at Chipotle, you'd be like, "I made that burrito wrong." Messi said,
"I'm employee of the month is right there."
Maybe he's the sandwich artist at the Subway, and I'm not. That's Messi.
It'll have you questioning your own career and your expertise. And so
if he came up to you after a set was like that second joke a bit derivative, you'd be like, I'm scrapping it. I'm never saying it again.
It's a bold red card, and I think it's not too controversial. But again, you understand that the Inter Miami players are upset, but then the effect later on because Strahinja Tanasievic, center back, gets a yellow card.
Speaking of rash, man, this dude
unnecessary. The yellow card was deserved. It was
no, but he made a bunch of other. Like he slid into some stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're already on a yellow, my guy.
Right. But the one, the foul against Luis Suarez, where he had just gotten the yellow a second ago, and he
slides in. He makes contact with the ball.
I don't even think he got. I mean, it was a the striker trying to hold up play or make a quick pass or whatever, and center back kind of runs right through him. This is a common foul. We see it all the time, several times a game. You don't. So this is the argument. The ref, and I don't know if you caught this, and Busquets definitely caught it. The ref saw the foul. And he goes to his pocket about to hand the yellow. Then he sees who it is that made the foul.
Right.
And he was like, oh no.
I'm not gonna do
it because I just gave him a yellow a couple seconds ago.
Which refs do this.
Yes.
They take into account this guy's already on the yellow. I'm gonna warn him one more time.
Right. But he just looked back because if Inter Miami were not red carded in the game, they probably won't be yelling about this as much.
And Messi's like, it's in my contract that we get these calls.
I spoke to Tim Apple directly. Yeah. He said you were going to give me this one. And so I could see why the Inter Miami players were upset, but it would have been a pretty harsh second yellow off of a foul that is so common in this game.
It's one of those where if it gets called a yellow, your first yellow, you understand it. That for a second yellow is kind of tough.
Yeah.
So, tough to swallow.
And again, maybe if it was like a persistent infringement, it happened several times and he let it go, then I would get it. But
also, Messi was wild upset about it after the match too. He got a yellow card after the match because he said he went up there, give me that whoa, bro. That Messi came out. He was saying some wild stuff to the ref.
He was. I mean, if you caught the video, I'll see if I can find it. But he's yelling at the referee. Yeah. We all saw it on Apple TV, but he's yelling at the referee. And then, and this is the part that wasn't on the broadcast, is that he had gone up to Mehdi Bellucci, assistant coach.
So I text Mehdi. I'm like, did you think 2025 was going to be the year you get choked out by Messi, bro?
He didn't choke.
No, he grabbed the back of his neck, but then he squeezed. And enough where Mehdi was like, hey, get your hands off me.
Pain. And Mehdi was like, All right, bro. What?
Yeah.
Like, I understand you are who you are, but
Right.
like, are we doing this?
Right.
So I thought that was a little bit absurd. Not absurd. I mean, Messi was arguing with the referee, and then what argument is he gonna make with like the technical staff of NYCFC? Like, there's not really much of an argument.
I mean, I also think it was inspired by Mehdi being like, move along, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
like, yeah. Like, you ain't winning this one,
I'm
bro.
also kind of loving that we're getting a little bit of a rivalry between these two teams.
Yeah. They both have equalized each other in the last seconds.
Yeah.
This is a fun back and forth between these two.
Has Inter Miami, Messi's Inter Miami has not beaten
Go head to head.
NYCFC to my knowledge, right?
No. Look, 2023 was
When did he get here? Yeah.
the last time Inter Miami won was 2022. So no.
Yeah, look at that. So, Messi's a little bit like, hey,
I can't beat these guys, bro.
I can't beat them.
I almost joined these mans, bro.
Next, the next match is going to be September 24th. But a couple other, and the one we have to discuss is really the look. Messi does what Messi does at the end of the game. He gets on a breakaway, passes the ball to
beautifully
new
weighted
player,
pass.
Segovia chips it over.
Great
Matt
restaurant
Freeze.
in Jersey. If you've never been, by the way, Segovia's.
Okay, he owns it.
I don't think they do. They may, but actually, it's an incredible restaurant.
But the one point I wanted to bring up in this game is the VAR check. So if you didn't watch the game, this game had 11 minutes of stoppage time, which is like, is Alex Ferguson here? Why is it there 11 minutes of stoppage
it's
time?
Messi time, bro.
It's Messi time now.
Yeah.
And
which is what I call love making.
okay, all right.
Get the tarp. You know?
It isn't. Yeah, it's not gonna be. Just a casual night out.
No. You already know what it is, baby girl.
So there was
most of the 11 minutes is us just chatting.
After Jordi Alba assisted Alonso Martinez. Later in the game, he sent in a cross that Mitya Ilinic, a friend of the show,
Goal scorer as well.
Goal scorer.
We got to talk about we'll
talk about that in a second. But I just want to get the controversy. So there was a cross into the box in the second half. This is around this near 80th minute or something like that. It was like 83rd, 84th minute. And we're looking at it right now. Alba sends a cross in. It hits Ilinic's leg, bounces off his leg, and then hits his elbow or whatever.
Yeah.
And they're calling for a handball.
Are we showing a skeet draft?
Yeah, because I wanted to play it in the browser, and I didn't want to get a whole other window.
I was about to say, what the hell's going on here?
So it hits off his leg and then bounces off his arm. We all know that this is a deflection.
Yeah,
this is not a handball.
Yeah, move along.
We all know the rules. We have the IFAB rules in front of it's not a thing.
I got the IFAB app open right now.
So IFAB? Anyway. What do we
Speaking of, get the tarp.
Messi, what do you anyway? So a leg and then it bounces off his arm. This VAR check took easily 4 to 6 minutes or something along those lines.
Right. Where
I'm watching this live and I'm like, this is not a handball. There's no way the dude in the VAR booth is looking at this and being like, let's really check. Let's analyze. When it's like, we're looking at it on TV, we see it hits his leg and then it hits his arm.
So what do you think? You think it was that they were looking like, is anyone even staring at Messi? Because then that's a penalty. You know what I mean? Don't look at him like that.
I'm not going to do all that and just attack the refs. I'm just saying that this is just a poor use of VAR. This is, I don't know why it took so long. Maybe they're looking at it in another angle. Maybe they're looking at another foul somewhere or whatever. I don't know what happened because, we only hear what the people on the broadcast are telling us. So I have no reason to have any like conspiracy theory. But I'm like, how does this take 5-6 minutes to determine if it's a handball? It is clearly and obviously not a handball. There was no clear and obvious error.
Well, the reason this is important is because all the stoppage time.
Oh, the stop. And
then when did they end? When did they equalize?
They go like 5 minutes checking this, and then the ref is like, "All right, continue play." What?
Yeah.
There's nothing to check. There's nothing to check.
Yeah.
You had to look at this for 5 minutes.
And then you don't even have to go to the screen.
You're not even telling the ref to go look at it.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like, there's no way this takes longer than, even if it takes 60 seconds, I'm like, yo, that's a long time. Do you understand the rules of the game?
Right.
But 5 is like, all right, now I'm putting my tinfoil hat on.
Right.
I don't want to put this. I have it.
You're starting the season already saying
I have it in a lockbox and I don't take it out.
Yeah.
So really, really frustrating. And then stoppage time, and then Messi does what he does, and everybody, NYCFC should have scored a third goal. But
Also, you said it before, but NYCFC didn't look like they were playing up a man at almost for large parts of this match. It's kind of crazy.
It just
a little frustrating.
It just shows how good Inter Miami are and the quality that they have. And then, like you did mention, Mitzi
he celebrates with a sue.
He does the suey.
And he does it very big, very loud. And after the game, they asked him about it. And he doubled down, bro. he went 10 toes. My guy said, I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan, so to be able to do the sue in front of Messi was a dream.
Which is
we're like, yo, we gotta play this man's again, bro.
It's big talk, and this is what I'll say. As obviously NYCFC fans, and we just had Mitzi on the show.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, but he's a young dude. You can see he's got a lot of energy.
It's
bro.
one of those things where in public, I'm be like, yo, I got you. I got you. In private, I'm be like, you making it a little hot.
Yeah,
so you gotta it's just a little.
You bring in static to the club.
Because we all gotta play with you.
Yeah.
And it's just,
like we all supposed to back you up, but if you out here yipping, causing the fights, you getting us lumped up.
So it was cool to see, though.
It's I gotta be honest.
I like the banter of it.
The like we talked a lot about when Messi first came to MLS. What was it gonna be like? Is it just gonna be a bunch of people glazing? People asking for his jersey, right. Seconds in. It seems like maybe early on there was a little bit of that. There was like a tentativeness, like, oh my god, it's Messi. Now it's like, bruh. Like we need to show you, like, yeah, but you on the same level competing with us.
And it's nice to see. I mean, I saw I think it was on MLS Wrap Up or on 360. Bradley Wright Phillips was like,
he said you haven't had enough matches.
You have enough matches or minutes. You haven't done enough to be talking.
You haven't had enough appearances to be doing. I don't think there's no many. It doesn't matter how many appearances you have. You can still kind of
He's like, no.
You can be a veteran and still be like, bro, that's messy, dog.
And it's also, he's a young guy and they grew up with these players, and it's like, and for him to be able to play against his favorite players, like rival, it's like, I mean, I get it. It's like wrestling to them. It's like, who's this old man who's cooking me?
No, my dad liked you, bro.
So I loved it. I loved it for the entertainment aspect of the league and of, again, the not glazing of Messi. And I think that's what adds to what is kind of this New York Miami little rivalry.
A little rivalry, yeah.
I like the
again. We were at Yankee Stadium when a bunch of kids in Messi jerseys cheered for James Sands' equalizer. Yeah. It's a very confusing time in American soccer, bro.
Speaking of Messi glazing, did you see the CONCACAF Champions Cup controversy?
No, what happened?
The referee in that game
asked for his jersey.
Yeah, you can't do that. The Sporting Kansas City match. You can't do that. We're talking about refs a little bit today. You can't do that.
Well, I've never seen a jersey swap with the ref, bro.
Take my
Messi holding the yellow and red cards after the game.
Just the FIFA sanction.
He's got both. It's wild.
It's like you can't make it that obvious.
Nah, man, chill, bro. Do it in the tunnel. Hey, I'll give you a red card if you don't give me your jersey after the game. Now we're talking. So, use your influence correctly.
The referee did get punished. I don't know exactly what the punishment is, but I don't imagine he was going to be reffing games anytime soon. You can't do that. And it makes me think of, like, do refs have like memorabilia? Like, do they do any of this kind of? I'm sure, of course they're fans.
Maybe they get, how they write on the card, like 10th minute, number 48 or whatever. Yeah. Maybe they get to keep those and be like, oh, this is the time I gave, Steven Gerrard a red or whatever.
That should be enough, bro. Yeah. Or just, sneakily take a towel after
you
throw.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody takes a little bit of Lucozade, you grab that joint.
Yeah. So incredible stuff. Let's move on just to get to another game.
Congratulations to San Diego,
let's talk about San Diego. San Diego FC.
First match. There were a lot of questions with Nicky Varas, is that his name?
Mikey Varas.
Mikey Varas.
Yeah.
There was a lot of questions based on his, interim, abilities with the U.S. men's national team. Not great, you know?
Sure.
So I think there was a lot of questions. I remember many times on Morning Footy, Charlie said next to me, was like, I can't believe this guy got a job in MLS. Like, what did he show you?
Yeah.
I think in the first match, not necessarily, I think, a great example of everything that San Diego could bring you, but and this happened to St. Louis first season, bro. People just be passing to the strikers now. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's like a first season MLS thing. If you get an expansion team, a center back will pass you the ball or at least make a mistake so that you have access to it.
I thought
they pounced on it.
Yeah, I thought that at the very least they handled. I think LA Galaxy, for the most part, they look unfamiliar. Like this is not the team we saw.
Yeah, I think
4 months ago.
That's the tough part about MLS, and I hope MLS finds a way to fix this where, if you are a good team, you basically get chopped apart. David Lee talked about it, the sporting director for New York City FC. He talked about it. He goes, they make it impossible. He was like, when we won in 2021, we doubled down. So specifically, we couldn't keep this team together, and it almost hurt us moving forward.
Right.
Trying to do that, trying to keep the team together. So I see how impossible it is. And look at LA Galaxy. They win a trophy. They win MLS Cup, not a trophy. They win the trophy in MLS, and then they have to start selling players and getting rid of players and can't play players.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
It's
especially if you're an LA Galaxy fan.
And it's frustrating even as like a neutral. I'm like, this isn't the LA Galaxy. I know. I mean, we know that there's injuries and stuff like that, but this is like I think Marky Delgado, who leaves Galaxy and goes to LAFC. It's like, all right, these are very important midfielders that are kind of the identity of the middle of the pitch for you. Yeah, and then Gaston Brugman leaves to go to Nashville because they probably didn't want to pay him more and stuff like that. And it's like, but he's earned more money.
Or in some cases, can't. It's just the cap doesn't allow them
100%. So kind of disappointing. I know Galaxy fans would probably would love to have seen something better, but credit to San Diego. There were a lot of cool moments, especially after the game. We sort of get lost in the like retirement league, blah blah blah. But then when you see kids literally crying to get a photo with Chucky Lozano, I'm like, all right. It gets me in a place where I'm like, all right, like, would it be great to have had Chucky in the league when he's 22 years old? Of course.
No. I mean, at the same time, would they have been the star had they been in MLS? It's like, but it's easy to see, hey, Southern California, let's get a Mexican superstar. Especially when you're like on the border, basically,
we understand the strategy there, but because it feels too on the nose sometimes of like balancing having a good team with just selling tickets or whatever. But then you see how happy fans are with even Galaxy fans were like, Chucky. So that was kind of just really cool to see. And he didn't end up scoring in the game.
Assisted though.
Anders Dreyer, who he came from Belgium.
I'm not sure wherever he came from. He was flock, I think, in that football.
But he scores the 2 goals, and I think San Diego held their own pretty well. Forced Galaxy into mistakes, which I think
we're talking about LA Galaxy kind of being a new team in the sense that a lot of player turnover. San Diego's a completely new team. They didn't play together last year.
The first half of the game was boring as hell, and it was
as boring as their kits.
There's something.
It's not good.
There's something to expansion teams where I'm like foaming at the mouth. I'm like, kill them. They're gonna smack them up. Let them know what this league is about.
Really good. Yeah.
Okay, well, you're not supposed to just get into the league and just embarrass the championship team.
St. Louis did that. Remember when they first started? We're like, damn, St. Louis. We had no idea what to expect.
So that part of it was entertaining. I thought they handled themselves well. They got the late goal, but for the most part, this game, I would say until I see like San Diego kind of do this against a team that isn't as picked apart as LA Galaxy, who felt it seemed like the LA Galaxy felt more unfamiliar with their own teammates than San Diego did. The expansion team. So that was the big surprise.
A little bit of maybe a little hangover from being champion. You're like, oh, we're good, bro. We just won this thing.
The other game that was a bit of a surprise to me, and in their head coaching debut, Bradley Carnell, head coach of the Philadelphia Union, wins 4-2 at Orlando. So
this is big.
Yeah, the Union.
Philly's sitting at the top of the table right now.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, lock it. Stop the count.
That's a award, the trophy now.
Yeah.
Supporter Shield, they got it.
Congratulations, Bradley Carnell.
But I thought the Union looked good, and again,
my only fear is Bradley Carnell's style of like this insane gegenpressing, all out style of playing soccer. Your players start to get tired towards the end of the season, and you kind of get found out a little bit.
Sure. But I mean, I think the surprising thing here is they traded Jack McGlynn to Houston. So
and they have a striker coming in. They just brought someone in from Club Nacional in Uruguay.
The Union did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have a young striker. I think they just bought him like 2 or 3 days ago.
Okay.
So they have a young striker coming in. I mean, there's going to be more. There's going to be more pieces, which is exciting if you're Philly fan because they really don't be buying this shit.
So I was just impressed that they were able to do this, given and maybe just it's a new coach, just trying something different, but getting rid of a player like Jack McGlynn, a very young player, like the issue that they were kind of having was just like the players looked like tired, and some of them were a little bit older. But Baribo was fantastic. Ura was fantastic. I mean, also the mistakes that Orlando made didn't help, just giving the ball away, and Ura just smashes in a goal from outside the box. So there was just I think this is something that the Union really needed, for given how last season went, getting rid of the coach.
Yeah, I think starting
they seem to be playing with a different spirit.
Starting the post Jim Curtin era on a win probably lowers a few tension, a little bit of tension that's probably with the fan base.
100%. The last game we'll chat about from the opening weekend is Atlanta against Montreal. Atlanta is back, baby.
Yeah, Atlanta seems fun again, man. The stadium's packed. What was it, the third most attended soccer game in the world?
In the world, yeah. Something like 60-some-odd thousand.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Shouts to Atlanta's back.
Emmanuel Latte Lath. It's gonna be
scored a brace, bro.
Scored a brace. It's gonna be just what a fun name.
Yeah.
You got latte right in your name,
bro. I like it. So, hey, he had some latte art. Stupid. It was stupid. Don't laugh at those guys.
Okay, that was fun. That was a fun one. It's a nice, uncommon, family-friendly joke.
From me. For sure.
Mr. Messy Lovemaker over here.
Buddy, get the tarp.
But I think the inclusion now, the introduction of Mateus Klick is huge. And there's still tons of questions for Atlanta defensively, but bro, Miggy, look, it's like fun to see Miggy back.
Think about what the world was like before Miggy left. It was pre-COVID. You know what I mean?
It was
the world seemed fun, dude. Miggy's back. It's bringing back those memories.
That's right.
Remember MLS
Biden was the greatest president we've ever had.
Yeah, was he even president yet? Remember MLS Cup with all the wedding tents and it was raining?
Oh, sure.
It was cool. It was like a good vibe when Miggy was in the league.
Yeah.
And now that he's back, it's kind of bringing back some of those old memories, especially seeing Mercedes-Benz packed out.
And they literally just reissued the first year's jersey, basically.
Yeah, basically.
So that part of it helps.
Miggy's like the same.
I'm looking at it. I'm like, is that a 2018 clip?
Yeah.
What is this? But no,
Miggy actually just wore the old one. He's like, I still have it. If you
they
need
didn't even notice.
Yeah.
He looked great, and Mosquera scores the game winner. And I just, more than anything, it's like, we've been to plenty of games at Mercedes-Benz, and those moments, whether it's the fire, the smoke, or whatever, whether it's the train horn, there's really nothing like absolutely lit Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
It's the closest to like an NFL atmosphere.
I would say it's better than an NFL.
No, like it's the closest within U.S. soccer. I don't know any other stadiums that have maybe the lights at Austin. But to me, it's like when a goal gets scored, it feels like a hockey goal got scored or something. Right. You know what I mean?
It's where the entire stadium feels like a supporter section.
Yeah.
So that was really great to see. And the goal from Mosquera was absolutely fantastic.
I do want to say though, Montreal, man, they didn't go away.
No.
Laurent, Laurent Courtois, not really giving much to work with. I mean, if you look at this lineup, you ain't know one of these men. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you don't remember none of these names.
In our Discord, there was somebody from a Montreal fan talking about just how the Saputo family is not really focused on spending money on this team.
No, they're not.
And that's kind of what it feels like. Prince Owusu was he left Toronto. I think he went from Toronto to Montreal.
I know Saliba did. Right? No, I think you're right. I think Owusu was like a Bundesliga 2 player, two Bundesliga player for a while. And then he goes to Toronto, goes from Toronto to Montreal.
He scored. And there's something about his, he does the little crown celebration, kind of LeBron-ish.
Very nice.
But do princes get crowns? I mean, it's not unheard of.
If they ask for it, right? You're a prince.
But there's something, his swag is like crazy. Yeah. He does the boom, he puts the crown on after he scored. And it's just like, all right, I want to see more of this. We don't really see more of this. We don't see this from the Canadian teams too much. Montreal
also has such a great fan base, man. I hope the Saputos focus a little more on the team and they Laurent Courtois gets some support.
I just want to mention this before we go to the interview, but the Vancouver player, the right wing, is it Nelson? Something Jaden Nelson?
What about him?
We're talking about like swag coming from these Canadian clubs.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Nelson, yes, he was fantastic after the red card. After Portland got the red, Kamal Miller, he was like, I'm just gonna run right at everybody.
Yeah, if you ain't got no one near me, I'm gonna just take up space.
He had like 3 or 4 runs that looked like carbon copies of, and it was basically defenders. You know, defenders, they know they can't catch up to you, so they try to put their arm on you.
Yeah.
They just try to,
deter you somehow.
Deter your run a
little speed bump.
My man did this like 3 times in the game. He was blazing past people and arms trying to grab him, and he's literally like,
slapping him off.
Get off me.
Yeah.
And it's so obvious. The guy's like trying to grab him, and he's just like, nah. But like, just, Heisman
slapping him. Yeah, stiff arming and joint.
That's the thing. Is like you should be allowed to stiff arm in soccer.
So this is how NFL football came about. What you're doing right there is like, yo, why can't I hit my guy?
Not hit. You can't slap.
You can push. You can stiff arm. You could probably stiff arm.
You can't stiff arm. The stiffness of the arm might be a thing.
No, because if you're running, your momentum's carrying you away from where the arm is going.
Maybe. But I mean, he did slap away really well. Yeah. So I'm just like, bro, whatever his left arm strength is the stats are high.
Also, we got to figure out, is Vancouver good still without Sartini, or is Phil Neville really that bad?
I think it's that red card. That red card changed everything, so it's hard to say. So, but all good games. All right. Again, apologies if we didn't speak about your team, but you know what to do. Send us messages about teams that we should talk about. Right. There's too many teams.
You'll have a lot in common with people from the roast.
We're trying our best.